Welcome to another edition of the A to Z of Beacon Productions. And the letter P is for Parsons. Hello, Walter Buckley here. So sorry that I can't be at the service today for dear Stan. I have a lot of memories of Stan Parsons, and I'm really pleased to have got this opportunity to be able to record this message for his family. And I can't believe he lived to 101 years old, and he certainly went out the way he wanted to with that young blonde. He had such fun at the end by the sounds of it. So I first met the Parsons, well, I think it was about late 97, early 1998, when they moved to Strawberry Fields. They moved in just down the road from Davy's orphanage where I was living. It was Jerry, the gardener, Barbara, the English teacher, their son Eric, and their dogs, Bertie and Ernie. We soon got to know Jerry and Barbara so well. They were like that couple from The Good Life, always doing stuff in the garden, always happy to help, always making a casserole when you needed it. Although they did have their issues as well. Barbara had that awful business with cancer, which thankfully she got through very strongly, very quickly. And then of course it sort of seemed to cause a distance between her and Jerry. Jerry started to wander, went and had a fling with Jane Pierce of all people. Jerry moved out and it just didn't seem the same without Jerry and Barbara together. But they got back together. And they had more scrapes along the way. Oh, I remember hearing about Jerry doing some nude modelling at an art class, only for Barbara to turn up and discover him there. But bless them, no rows. Why was Jerry doing it? To save up money to take them on a wedding anniversary cruise. They've had a lot of joy, but oh my goodness, their children have given them heartache. So let me think, the oldest is Oliver. Never really knew what Oliver got up to. He was a musician, he was a music teacher. Every time I went round to the house, he always seemed to be sat in the corner of the lounge reading a newspaper. He had a bit of a fiery temper. I remember he fell out with one of his ex-business colleagues, and then of course he lost his sight in the bite-sized fire, and then he got that back, and I can't really say much about Oliver. And then there was Eric, the youngest son, who he went off the rails a few times. A bit of a drinker. I think he got into drugs at one point, but to be honest, fairly straight, normal, forward teenager. But the middle kids, well, that's where the tragedy was. And in fact, Eric was affected very badly from the death of Ben Parsons. Jerry and Ben just didn't get on. Jerry didn't agree with Ben's sexuality and Ben's choice of partner in Sean Beaver. Can't forget him. Ben was a photographer at the Pulpera Post with me. But anyway, he and Jerry had a big fallout, and the next I heard, he fell into some water trying to rescue Eric, who couldn't swim, got a cramp in his leg and drowned. And as if it couldn't be worse, they had the air rescue out looking for him. Poor Jerry and Barbara discovered his body washed up on the shore. I don't know how they ever dealt with that. And then just a few years later, their daughter Claire, on the wedding day to that lovely but slightly dopey ex-boxer Hugo that she was going to marry, got involved in a hit and run and was killed outright on her wedding day. It just showed how they coped, what a strong family they were. And Stan was so important to them all. Oh, he'd wind them up a treat sometimes, and his philandering ways, chasing the young ladies. But his double act with Oliver was memorable, and they got up to all kinds of scrapes. Of course, years later, when everybody kind of moved away from Strawberry Fields, Jerry and Barbara thought they were going to get some peace and quiet, when lo and behold, Jerry's sister, Magenta, and her kids, Roger, the businessman, Affy, God knows what, and the rather effeminate Jamie, all moved into the Parsons caravan at the bottom of the garden. I don't know how they put up with it, but I think Jerry and Barbara just loved company, they loved energy, and they loved all the mad things that went on around them. And a few years later on, we then had the wonderful chance of a reunion when we did that Come Dine With Me programme. Oh, we had some fun, although it did get a little bit messy at the end. Well, I'm going to have to go now. I'm giving a lecture at the local archaeology exhibition about my father, Patrick Buckley. You know, he was trampled on by a herd of highly strung elephants. But, well, this video was supposed to be a tribute to Stan, but really, It's my tribute to all of the Parsons families, who for so many years gave us a lot of laughs, as well as a few tears. Here's to the Parsons.